Welcome, beautiful people. Today we are talking about Cancun cruise. Fled Ted. Yes, I do believe that probably most of us have already heard about his trip to Mexico and leaving his dog, his poodle, Snowflake, behind. But since he and his family have returned, I have breaking news for you. Salon Incorporated and source Vanity Fair have reported a straw donor scheme that Ted Cruz has implicated himself in, a so-called book scandal. So I'm going to be sharing with you my source information as soon as we wait a few minutes for our viewers to come on. Hi, everybody, and hello to everyone in the replay. It's great to meet you. We're going to be doing some animal Reiki communication and healing with the poodle dog Snowflake, Ted Cruz's family dog, who he left behind at home during the Texas power outage and also the water shortage. And one of the reasons why I wanted to look at this is because I understand that his pet service was the Secret Service. So I want to know, was American taxpayer money used to pay for Ted Cruz's pet sitting service while he flew away to Mexico? And I also have something to say about being a parent myself that is really, really irking me. And I would like to bring this up before we talk about the Vanity Fair and the book scandal, because I'm going to be reading you the actual source information now. Hi, everybody. Hi, Cardomancy. So once again, I'm a parent, and one of the reasons why I adopted a cat, a rescue animal, during a pandemic is to teach my daughter responsibility, okay? And teaching her to abandon the pet in a cold, lonely house to run off on vacation on a whim is not what I would consider good parenting skills. I'm sorry. His excuse was, I was being a good dad. I just wanted to be a good dad. Well, I'm glad his children didn't freeze. I'm glad. However, the dog, I mean, you could have taken the dog with you already. He acts like the dog's not a family member. So what was he thinking? What was he thinking? I've got the quick draw. What was he thinking? That's good parenting, teaching your kids to abandon your dog in a power outage. What was he thinking? What was he thinking? Why did Ted think that it was a good example to set for his daughters? What was he thinking? What was he thinking when he left Snowflake behind? Oh, he thought that he could handle it. He thought, she's a dog. She can take the cold. That's not true. I am a licensed veterinary technician. I can tell you right now, dogs and cats too are they're not impervious to the cold. I didn't even see one of those little doggy coats on Snowflake. What was he thinking? How is he thinking that that's good parenting? Not even putting a doggy coat on. The Queen of Cups. This is basically being overruled by his emotion, by his he wasn't thinking. This is saying that he wasn't thinking about his dog. He wasn't including his dog emotionally in his Escape America plan. That says he wasn't thinking about his dog. Yep, because he wasn't sharing his concern and his love for his family with his own pet. He didn't consider his pet. See that? That's like he left the dog out in the cold, literally, or inside in the cold. Did you realize that actually it's almost colder in a house than it is outside? So we'll be checking in with Snowflake later to see specifically how she felt about the quality of care she received. And I want to know, because let's face it, if we're paying our taxpayer money for pet sitting services for Snowflake, I've got a few questions, don't you? Hey, Twanya. Great to see you. It's great to be back. So we had a power outage here in Oregon, and it was very odd because what happened was we froze, and it was way down in the 20s, which I don't think is super, super cold. Like it was 22 degrees at my house with no power outside. My house only dropped to 58 degrees. Okay, so which is chilly inside, but that's not life-threatening. But what happened was it started at 22 degrees, and then at night, it like right after sundown, the temperature warmed to 26 degrees, and I was like, oh no, this is bad. And then at night, instead of it going down into the teens, it shot up to 28 degrees. And then what happened was the ice on the trees started to crack because the warmth of the growth, because a tree gives off heat just like a body, because it is a body. It started to thaw inside the icicles surrounding each of the tree little fingers and branches and limbs and everything. And then it formed water or permafrost. And then it was like living in a martini glass, shaken, not stirred. It was like broken glass shattering everywhere. All the trees were exploding with broken ice, and chunks of martini ice were just flying everywhere, and branches were coming down on my roof. I had like 5 tree branches fall on my roof. And then after that, all the ice on the roof started cracking and shaking. So the martini was on every house roof. It was so bizarre. So that caused a lot of damage. So that was my power outage experience. Hi, Kat. Great to meet you. We have a wonderful group of chatters here. And for those on replay, I want to get straight to it. I want to read the statement from Salon Inc. and Roger Schollenberger. Salon's Roger Schollenberger reports that in 2020, a leadership PAC attached to Cruz named Jobs, Freedom, and Security paid $1.2 million, or almost 80%, of its entire operating budget to a company called Reagan Investments LLC for, quote, sponsorship advertising, unquote, per Schollenberger. The only other committee to register any disbursements to that company was Make America Great Again for a fundraising promotion for Cruz's books in December. However, the Trump group clearly marked the payment for collateral books, unquote. In other words, Salon's statement says it's possible Cruz may have bought his own books through this mystery company and then paid himself royalties, which would be illegal. So this implicates that it's a straw donor scheme from a super PAC, a MAGA super PAC. Basically, what this is saying is Ted Cruz, in cooperation with these freedom people, created an LLC front or cover company named Reagan Investments LLC in order to purchase Ted Cruz's own books and then pay him back his own royalties. Like what? So not only is to the tune of like $1.2 million that he siphoned off a super PAC campaign fund for that's associated with MAGA. This is kind of not really a straw donor campaign fund scheme. It's in there. I would absolutely call it an implication of a book scandal. Yes, because books are registered as an ISBN at the Library of Congress. So there's when the royalties are paid through the Library of Congress. I know this because I have a lot of my work copywritten. It's a procedure how they disperse the royalties back over to the Reagan Investments LLC. That's right, Reagan, as in Ronald Reagan. Yeah, that's kind of a hello moment too, isn't it? Yowza. Kat Rhodes mentioned that she's a 30-year, over 30 years of experience Reiki master, and she just found our channel. Oh, I'm so happy. We're going to be doing animal Reiki, and that's one of my wonderful gifts is animals talk to me. They literally just come up to me and talk to me. Literally wild animals. We're not going to go into the story thing, but we're going to use animal Reiki, and because we also want to send, we can send, what I love about Reiki is it's time independent. So we can send her Reiki warmth today to go back to the time when she was in the house and survived. And that could be part of the reason why she survived the cold is because of the Reiki we're sending her from this time and space continuum. All right, because we, of course, care about her. But the point I was making is good parenting is not teaching your kids to be irresponsible about your pet. Now, let's go on with the implication in the book scandal for Ted Cruz, because this is breaking news. I know we've all heard about him flying to Mexico. Oh, and another thing, he didn't go through quarantine when he got back, but guess who did? His kids, because they go to private school and they weren't allowed to go back until they finished quarantine. Okay, so once again, Salon Inc. and Roger Schallenberger have put out this article source at Vanity Fair. So here is the article. I'm going to read this to you guys. On January 2021, Cruz traveled to Georgia before the runoff elections. His leadership PAC reported a $240,000 expense for sponsorship advertising to Reagan Investments, which appears to correlate with another series of small dollar donations that poured into the PAC over the next few days. It isn't clear how much of the funds were raised, if any, went to Republican runoff campaigns. Ooh, if any. Cruz's PAC only spent a few $1,000s in support of former Senator Kelly Loeffler. In fact, most of the contributions rolled in after the runoffs were over and as the events surrounding the January 6th insurrection were playing out, while Cruz joined a handful of Republican senators to object to the counting of the Electoral College votes. Legal experts told Salon that if the money was for promotional book sales, as the filings may suggest, then the leadership PAC could be using Reagan Investments as a pass-through to allow Cruz to keep the royalties, which are generally between 10 and 15% for hardcover books, and about half of that for paperback books. Political candidates are not allowed to do that through their campaign committees, but the identity of Reagan Investments itself poses a mystery. Wow, mic drop. Except that I'm not going to drop my mic because I love my mic. Proverbial mic drop. Getting some water. So that is saying that of roughly 1.5, I love numbers, by the way. I'm into the numerology around this, which corresponds to astronomy. And then when the numbers line up and the planets line up, then the astrology comes in, but I come in from a viewpoint of the numerology. So that's like $1.5 million of fund contributions that came in, and only a few $1,000s were spent on Senator Kelly Loeffler. It's like Cruz wanted to just stab Kelly Loeffler in the back. These guys are cannibals. And then the remaining 1.2 goes for these quote unquote promotional advertising book sales. So that 80% of the entire Reagan Investments LLC money went on a book buyback, and then 10 to 15% of that was the royalties that Cruz collected. So that's like $200,000. He got paid to buy back his own books. And then he's even got the stock that he's repurchased to resell. See, that's not legal because all this stuff is tracked through ISBN and it's all registered through tax laws at the Library of Congress. When a book is registered as a copywritten and it goes through the Library of Congress, that I know because I'm an artist. That's how I disperse and get paid for my work. Oh my gosh. Wow. Let's have a chat. I'm going to read some of these comments. Kat Rhodes says, what about feeling so entitled that no one else is important? She's talking about how the children had to go through quarantine, but Ted Cruz didn't have to go through quarantine when he returned to the United States after going to Mexico on international travel during a pandemic. Kat remarks, what about feeling entitled that no one else is important? Lead and teach your children about community responsibility and engagement. They could have been there to hand out water and help with phone trees. So, well, obviously the first good parenting example is to take care of your neighbor, not even just your constituent, just any human being. Like when we had our power outage and all our trees came down, my neighbor got a hold of me right away, both of them. We worked it out because trees were falling down all over the place, on fences, on my HVAC unit, okay? So even if the power came back on, my heater had to have a tree removed off it, okay? So just basic community service, that's the first thing that comes to mind. But what comes to mind to me is an animal. Well, I have 5 certifications in healing, holistic medicine, and veterinary medicine. So the first thing I think of is, what kind of an example is that setting, taking responsibility for your own family member, your dog? What is that teaching the children about taking care of their dog? Oh, just pawn it off on the Secret Service. Blah. Yeah, right. Yeah, and they could have even taken the dog with them. I mean, all you need is a airline approved pet carrier, and away Snowflake goes with the family off to the hotel. What's the big deal? Oh gosh. Oh, thank you for sending we have the most wonderful set of chatters. Kat sending Reiki to all the fellow chatters. And one of my followers, one of my viewers, I'm certain was praying for me. I just could feel her, like, I know she's thinking about me because I haven't had a live stream for a while. Yay, thank you. Cartomancy says thank you to Kat. Are you still cold, Cartomancy? Is anyone still cold? Is anyone still without water? I did some research, and I have a tea light with a muffin pan and 2 terracotta flower pot solution along with the matches, the lighter, and some tin foil. And then I can make a space heater. And then all I have to do is block off my room, which has brick on it, so it'll radiate really well, the fire off the fireplace without lighting a fire, because fireplaces are dangerous. And then block it off, and then put this little terracotta flower pot heater with the tea lights in the muffin pan to radiate heat into the room. And then you put a tent up if if it's in a colder climate. Like I said, we didn't get below 58. Ta-da! Oh dear, Cartomancy. Well, let's send you some sunshine from Southern California. I'm up north, so we don't have that. We have rain, but I know it's sunny in Southern California. So also, let's now send the Reiki, the animal Reiki, to Snowflake, and it can go into the past so that she can receive the heat and the warmth while her power was out. Take a moment of silence to send her. You saw I did the little symbols with my hands. Now we're keeping Snowflake warm. Even though it was in the past, we can send the signal. That's right. We'll send her warm, good thoughts. Now, I want to know. Was American taxpayer funds used to pay for Ted Cruz's family vacation during the Texas power outage? Was American taxpayer funds used to pay the Secret Service to pet sit Snowflake while he abandoned his constituents and his dog and went on vacay? Were our American taxpayer funds used to buy the Hierophant? Yeah, it's time that America starts to take a look at follow the money. You can find out so much when we follow the money. This is saying we need to take a judgment. American taxpayers need to make a judgment regarding where our money is going. This is the Biden administration now. This happened. Hello, it's no longer former guy. Was American taxpayer funds that could have been used to help pay people's energy bill or buy bottled water used? Yes. The Knight of Rods is the Secret Service. This is his staff member who came to bet sit. He's got the key. He's holding the house key. See? Well, it's a staff. This is the Knight of Rods. And what this is saying that, yes, Ted Cruz did arrange for the Secret Service members, there's probably more than one guy, to drop by and check on Snowflake. He's got the key to Ted Cruz's residence. This is the 9 of Swords. Oh, I hate to say it, but we're already channeling Snowflake. This is her feeling about the Secret Service guy. She didn't like him. She's like, who's this guy? No. And she felt completely trapped. This is Snowflake completely feeling trapped inside a cold house and not being able to do anything about it. Poor Snowflake. This is the recent past. Yeah, the power outage. That's Ted. That's Ted taking himself, his wife, and his 2 daughters on a plane ride. And guess who's left out? Guess who's left behind? Hanging over his head, little snowflake. I heard in the news, this is hilarious, like in the last day or so, that, of course, Ted Cruz has been interviewed about the whole thing because it's been haunting him ever since. And somebody, was interviewing him, and he said that when he saw the picture of his own dog, Snowflake, waiting at the door, through the glass door, he said it was, quote, creepy, unquote. If you think it's creepy leaving your dog behind, why do it? So yeah, that's him leaving Snowflake behind and flying. Because those are the plane tickets he got. He could have got a plane ticket for Snowflake, but he didn't. He got 3 plane tickets other than himself, and then he left Snowflake out. Was taxpayer money used to finance the Secret Service for pet sitting services? Well, it was a Texas freeze. It was an arrangement Ted had. Look at that. There he is talking guys. I gotta go. Take care of my dog, dude. What was he thinking? What was he thinking? The Ace of Cups is yes, it's our taxpayer money. Remember how I said it's important for America to speak up about this. I don't think it's a good idea for us to let this Ted Cruz get off the hook just because it's not the hottest clickbait on CNN today. So what? Let's make Vanity Fair and the book scandal bring Ted Cruz back out this weekend, because now that we don't have Friday night massacres from the former guy, we need to keep the screws. We need to keep holding Ted Cruz's feet to the fire. Cartomancy says, Ted wouldn't spend $1 of his own money. Me. Oh, the 4 of Pentacles. I like your intuitive psychic take on the 4 of Pentacles card, that all Ted was thinking about was me too. And that's probably all his wife and daughters were thinking about. Now, I want to ask some more questions. Seeing as, I had to say this. Okay, this is an aside. Okay, in England, they have a cat, a Commonwealth cat. He lives on Downing Street. Have you seen him? He's a mouser. I forget his name. Well, one of the cats who lived on Downing Street in the UK had a supposed pet owner. And when the pet owner moved, he tried to take that cat with him, and the British government wouldn't let him. He said the cat belonged to the people and that the guy couldn't own him, and they wouldn't let him move the Prime Minister's cat off of Downing Street, because that's the Prime Minister's residence or something like that on Downing Street. Did you hear about that? Yeah, that mouser, it's the first mouser. Yeah, they had to get a first mouser because of the rodent problems on Downing Street. The buildings in Britain are really old that they reside in. Oh, God. Oh, you go for it. Yes, definitely. Go for those scoot boots. All right, so for those who are new, my name is Alexia, and I do animal Reiki and animal communication. But before we ask how Snowflake felt, because we did get an intuitive hit that she felt very trapped and like she could do nothing about leaving the house when it was so cold. And she was really anxious about the Secret Service guys. Like, she didn't really like them. I'd be creeped out if Secret Service guys were coming to check on my pet. I'd rather have a real pet sitter, somebody who's going to hang around and keep them warm. This guy's probably threw her a bone and then split. Yes, American taxpayer money was used to fund the Secret Service's pet sitting service. Oh, since I do numerology, how much money did we spend on this freaking pet sitter? Follow the money. This is my Nostradamus deck. I do numerology. It'll give us a set of numbers. How much money did we spend on Snowflake's pet sitting services during the power outage? How much? So was it 3 figures? Was it 3 figures? Give me a yes or give me a 3. Was it 3 figures? Was it 3 figures? It's down at the bottom. Was it 3 figures? No. Was it 4 figures? That's the false king. That's the prince. He who would be king. That's the king of wands. How much did American taxpayers spend? Was it 4 figures? We didn't spend a few $100. Let's just put it this way. Was it 4 figures? Was it 4 figures? Give me a yes or a 4, please. A 10. 10 of stars is the 10 of swords. Once again, that is a final decision. I think what they're saying is they were paying tens of thousands of dollars and then they wanted to cut them off because it was a ridiculous amount. Did American taxpayers spend 5 figures? Give me a yes or a 5. Give me a yes or a 5. Yes or a 5. The Burning Tower. Oh my God, was it 6 figures? Oh, yes. 6 figures. There's the yes, the sun, the truth, the ultimate. We paid over $100,000 for pet sitting service. We didn't pay $1 million. They said that it was becoming outrageous and somebody cut them off. No, you can't spend $1 million freaking dollars on Secret Service for Snowflake. We spent over, okay, how many hundreds of thousands? And I want to get a double set of cards. Hundreds of thousands of dollars when Texans are dying and need what? Do you know how much bottled water that? I don't want to even go there. This is federal money being used to pay for pet sitting services. We definitely deserve to do a reading on this. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars? How many? I have to use this deck to affirm the number. How many? How many? How many hundreds of thousands? What's that number in the number 6 position? How many? I'm going to keep pulling until they pull. You'll see. You'll see the cards start to pull. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars did we pay? American tax. Oh, there it is. A number 8. Justice. Let's see. Oh, that looks like the Grim Reaper. I guess they really wanted to make certain Snowflake didn't die. Is it true it was $800,000 to a cup? Oh, they had to send a vet. Oh, God. They had to send someone who probably was a veterinarian along with the Secret Service to make sure he didn't kill the dog. Guys, this is so out there. It's for fun and entertainment purposes only, just a tarot reading. By the way, the Nostradamus deck is never wrong. Yes, for fun and entertainment purposes only. Oh, thanks for the likes, you guys. Okay, so far we got that American taxpayers paid over $800,000 in Secret Service detail for Snowflake. Unbelievable. Why? Because they had to have a veterinarian there because, let's face it, Snowflake really could have died. Unbelievable. But that makes me sick because, people really were dying. And animals, I'm sure lots of pets died too. Very sad. A moment of silence for all the pets. All the people whose pets died. Maybe their family, but their dog died. Oh, nobody's giving them any credit because it's just a dog. Don't people realize a lot of people are more bonded to their dog than the other people in their household, or maybe their dog is their only household member, and no one's giving them any credit for the loss of their pet during the power outage? Well, I am. What was it like? What was it like for Snowflake to have all these people, these strange people in the house when she could have been with their family? What was it like for poor Snowflake being stuck in the house? She said she was feeling trapped. What did Snowflake think of her pet sitting service, her overpriced pet sitting service? What did Snowflake think? Ooh, she didn't like that all the attention. It was too much. It's a reverse 3 of Pentacles. She didn't like all the attention. It wasn't healthy for her. There's too many people come to visit. Here's the 8 of Swords. Imprisonment. She got the 9 of Swords and the 8 of Swords. So she felt like she wasn't being heard when she was barking. Okay. And she also couldn't see what's going on. So she didn't know what was going on. She was confused. This is the Yes card. What was it like having Secret Service check on her? Yeah, this is yes. They came. So there was a feeling of assurance that they were coming. So she didn't feel like nobody was going to take care of her. So that's good. She knew that they were coming, even though it wasn't her family. She knew they were coming. They must have checked on her really often for $800,000. It was only like 5 days. Oh. Our government. Would anyone like to ask some political questions about Ted Cruz? We're going to move on to the Vanity Fair and the book deal. So it appears as though there's a mystery. Nobody can find out who this Reagan Investment Company really is. So let's take a look. This is why I love being a tarot reader. Let's take a look at the mystery of Reagan Investments. Who are these people who bought $1.2 million of Ted Cruz's books? Oof, we just put the candle out. Look at that. Woo. Okay. They don't like being looked at. Who is Reagan Investments LLC? Are they completely American, or is this an international connection? That's where I'm going to start. That way we will know if we want to use the American deck. This is the Greer deck. And I also have the Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg from Yuri Asimov. And it's very telling for the international connection. So is Reagan Investments LLC, and this is a mystery, is it comprised of an international, is this an international connection, or is this LLC formed completely within the United States? Let's take a look at, because the mystery is who is Reagan Investments? I mean, who are Reagan Investments LLC? Buying $1.2 million of promotional campaign advertising, super PAC, straw donor fund. These things run so deep. The mystery of the Reagan Investments LLC connection to the MAGA and Ted Cruz super PAC donations. Who are these people? Is this an international syndicate, or is this solely American? Okay, so we're going to do a 9-card spread. These are who these people are. I don't have room to show you guys these cards, so I'll pull them a row at a time, okay, for you guys. These are who they are. The first column is the 10 of Swords. The second column is the Ace of Swords. And the last column is the Major Arcana 9, the Hermit. These are the players. This is who Reagan Investments is. Is this an international gig, crime syndicate? Or is this solely an America thing? Okay, so Ace of Swords implies an international connection. The 10 of Swords is ruin. It's destruction. Okay, and the ultimate is in the third group is a group of investigators. Now their intentions are, oh, yep, it's an international connection. Okay, so this intention is to destroy an overseas or a national alliance. Okay. Reagan Investments, LLC, the people who formed this mystery corporation have an intention to destroy unity within the United States. They also want to take out the Senate Majority Leader. Right now, that would be Chuck Schumer. And they want to investigate. This is about voter election, but it's not voter fraud. It's not election interference. It's not a recount. It's data. They want to do an investigation into most likely Dominion. Oh, please, Dominion suing those guys. Okay, so this would be the software used for in the voting systems. That would, these guys. Who are these people? The reversed hangman. I just felt this Ghislaine Maxwell feel to it, because this mystery corporation channeling campaign fund, blah, blah, blah. That is so GMAX. So the reverse of the hangman is the opposite of seeing things clearly. These people are most likely directly connected to some arrangement within the the DNC. They want to destroy the unity which is within the Democratic National Campaign Fund, and they want to do it without hesitation or delay. And they want to utilize tools that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell have access to, which is money and putting pressure on lobbyists. The second group of people who belong to Reagan Investments LLC, the mystery corporation who has been doing this kind of sort of funky straw donor campaign fund thingy from MAGA. Okay. This is who they are. Okay. Their persona is that they're patriots, that they uphold American constitutional values. That's their persona. That's their image. Okay. Their intention is to take out Chuck Schumer and the majority in the Senate right now. In Congress, this is the Queen of Swords. I'm telling you, they're working as a group with intentions, underlying intentions, utilizing tools. This is, these are tools that they're using like with a leader. This is like a leader of these insurrectionists who are really, really, really targeting the DNC, possibly with this group is definitely got support with the international connection. So this is the international connection to Reagan Investments LLC. This is somebody who actually owns them. And they're not American, but their company is registered as an American LLC. I don't know what state they're in, though. The other group is the group of investigators. They want to investigate Dominion so they can use it as propaganda. This is nothing but social media posts, mass social media post propaganding regarding, I have to say, this is basically a conspiracy theory about flipping the votes. They're trying to say that the voting machines would flip the votes from, oh God, these people are so QAnon-y. They want to say that Dominion systems were used to flip the votes from Trump to Biden, but they don't have any of the evidence to do that. So that is why, who these people are and why they formed this LLC in order to funnel all this money. Because think about it. When those sales were made, Ted Cruz picked up 10 to 15% of the royalties. That means he got about $200,000. Where's the other mill? Where's the other million? Because, Kelly Loeffler only got a few thousand for her campaign. Oh, wow. Who are these people? Somebody, the Queen of Swords, is the international connection behind this, who's owning this LLC, which is registered in a state in the United States of America. Wow, I'll have to continue looking on her later, but that for now will leave a mystery. Okay. All right. Da, da, da. Schollenberger's got the goods on Ted Cruz. What other questions are we going to ask about this illegal campaign? Super PAC, Reagan Investments LLC. Did we get everything we needed to know? We see that there's an international connection with the Queen of Swords. She's the gang leader, the syndicate. We'll call it a syndicate leader. Does anybody have some political questions about Ted Cruz? Does anybody have any? Hi, I'm Alexia. Don't be afraid to say hi in the live chat. We have a wonderful group of people here. Very positive. So, what are some more questions we wanted to ask about Ted Cruz, specifically Reagan Investments LLC? So why the name Reagan? That's obviously a reference to Ronald Reagan and Reaganomics. Let's look at the Reagan Investments LLC mystery owner And why did they choose the name Reagan? As in Ronald Reagan. Why did they choose that name? That's a really, really obvious reference to economics and Ronald Reagan. Why did they choose the name Ronald Reagan? Why did they choose the name Ronald Reagan? They like the way it sounds because Reagan is very, very famous. That name has high name recognition. Why did they choose the name Reagan when they made this mystery company, Investments LLC? At the essence is the Queen of Rods. This is a woman who's in charge of this whole thing, you guys. It's just, there's a woman behind this. This looks a lot like Ted Cruz's wife. I'm sorry, but you can't tell me it doesn't look like her. You cannot tell me this doesn't look like Ted Cruz's wife. Why did Ted Cruz's wife choose the name Reagan for the mystery company Reagan Investments LLC? Is it true? Is it true that's, let me check. Is that really, what's her name? Cruz? I don't know. Mrs. Cruz? Is this Queen of Rods really Mrs. Cruz? Because that's the senator's wife. That's the senator's wife, you guys. It would be the Queen of Rods. Yeah, that's not Dr. Jill. She'd be the Queen of Cups. She's somebody who cares about America. Is this Ted Cruz's wife we're ending up doing a reading on because she's in the ownership of Reagan LLC? Oh, shoot, you guys. Look, Queen of Rods at the bottom of the deck. Is this Ted Cruz's wife? We've got a yes, no, and yes! It's a yes. You see the yes? Yeah, it's a little bit faint. I apologize. You guys see right there? I put a yes on this. Yeah, it's Ted Cruz's wife, you guys. Bombshell breaking tarot reading, you guys. We got a yes, like right off the top. It's Ted Cruz's wife, one of the mystery owners of Reagan Investments LLC. Holy guacamole. Get out the Dos Equis. Hold my beer. You guys see why I have so much fun pulling cards. It's like, oh my God. Okay, now the question we're asking is, why did Ted Cruz's wife pick the name Reagan when she named the front company Reagan Investments LLC, this mystery company? Smug merchant, it's her wish dream to be fulfilled, to be able to siphon super PAC campaign funds straight into her husband's pocket. Only $200,000. Cheapskate. He kind of looks like a loser. He's not even got a front gate. I mean, if you think it's so creepy, paparazzis take pictures of his dog while he's not. She must have this fantasy dream about Reaganomics and trickle-down theory that if they can just keep all the money and not give Kelly Loeffler's campaign any. This is hilarious, you guys. Oh my God. Yeah, look how funny this is. I'm laughing so hard. Here they are again, the Secret Service guys who came to check on Mrs. Cruz's puppy dog, Snowflake. Okay, so we know that I can't even believe I pulled a yes, and that this is Queen of Rods, and this is Ted Cruz's wife, who's the mystery owner. This is for entertainment purposes only. I have no evidence. It's just a set of tarot cards. By the way, I'm not always accurate, but a lot of the times I am. I actually have federal agents who watch my channel. I'm not making that up. I tell them it's not always true. This is just for fun and entertainment purposes only, okay? This is a Secret Service. Okay? Mrs. Cruz is very, very concerned about the Secret Service details. Okay, so why did she name him Reagan? Other than it, she has some fantasy, love, nostalgia, blah, 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 for the good old Ronald Reagan. She believes in trickle-down economics. Yeah, give me and my hubby all the money. Screw Kelly Loeffler. Not sure what this means. Why is the Secret Service in on this regarding this Reagan Investments LLC? Reagan Investments, I mean, you know, it's Ted Cruz's book. I mean, this whole thing is a book scandal, and it's all about Ted Cruz's book royalties being funneled through a buyback purchase. Yeah, a buyback purchase paid. I'm not sure about the money flow. Something about somebody bought the money. No, it's Reagan Investments. Somebody funneled, siphoned Super PAC campaign contributions like through Mega into this Reagan Investments LLC so that they could pay for the promotional advertising. Okay. Why did she name the front company Reagan? Reagan Investments. Think about it. Trickle down economics. Give my husband all this money for the book, and we'll give Kelly Loeffler a couple grand for her campaign. That's Senator Ted Cruz's idea of Reaganomics. Cooking the books, baby. Right now, she's cooking the books because she knows they're in trouble. Temperance is messing with stuff, man. It's the chemistry, blending the books. This is cooking the books. She knows she's in big trouble right now because the news off on Vanity Fair and Salon. You think Mrs. Cruz doesn't know what's going on? She's cooking the books right now on the Reagan Investments LLC. God, this is so hot because she wants to get away with it. She's setting it all up to walk away with the money from the campaign funds and get away scot-free. This is Senator Ted Cruz's wife getting away scot-free. I'll bet you it's not even going to come out that she's a mystery owner. Wow. That was an awesome reading. Thanks for the likes, you guys. Thanks for the likes, and for those on replay, thanks for commenting. Let me know where you're from. For everybody new, we'd love to meet you. Okay, so let's look at, because from what it looks like, Ted Cruz's wife is a piece of work, because according to the text, he made it look like it was her idea, like, let's get out of town, like she was inviting her neighbors or something to go with. Hey, let's get out of Dodge. The power's out. You know, if my power's out, the last thing I'm going to do is waste the rest of my smartphone battery on a bunch of texts to my neighbors to see if I can drag them along. I got that Ted Cruz was up to funky, chunky, hunky business while he was there. Yeah, doing banking transactions. Once again, follow the money. But before we go there, let's check on the neighbor who outed Mrs. Cruz's tax. That is too funny. It is too funny. I can't believe it. I'm like, I could not have thought of that on my own. Like that was not an intuitive hit. That was a set of tarot cards with a giant fat plus sign on top of it. Wow. I mean, that was just too real. That was too real. I mean, I know I try to focus on facts. Yeah, that's the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard from a tarot live stream. Focus on facts, my ass. Let's look at Mrs. Cruz's neighbors because she outed her on those texts. She outed her. Let's look at the people who received the text invitations to join them. Nobody wanted to go along. Gee, I can't imagine why. Gee, I sure feel like leaving my pet behind today in an ice storm. Yeah, right. Let's take a look. Thank you, Spirit, for showing us. There's no way that's going to come out in the news, you guys. That bit about that last reading was killer. Let's take a look at the Cruz block where they live at the neighbor. Let's see what they think of getting those texts from Senator Cruz's wife. Okay, we got to clear this energy out. Let's look at the neighbors. Let's look at the neighbors when they got those texts. Let's look at those neighbors and see what happened when they got those texts. Let's look at the neighbors. See what happened when they... Here it is again. Yeah, it's them thinking about the snobs. Yeah, showing off with their plane tickets and leaving them, the neighbors, in behind. Now the neighbors have the abandonment and left behind feeling. We don't have any plane tickets. We can't afford to just, hop on a plane to Cancun like on a whim. It costs more money, the airfares want to get away. Now we need 3 sets of friends and neighbors. And this is what happened when they got the checks. I guess Mrs. Cruz is quote unquote pissed. Oh, look. This is the White House. Uh-oh. Or that's the staff at the White House. She must have had to send texts to the staff at the White House to arrange for pet sitting. The magician. These are the people who got the texts. Oops, I got these cards mixed up. Oh, dear. The magician. These would be her acquaintances. And these are her neighbors, because see how they live next door. They all own property on the same street. Okay, so those are the people at the White House, or their staff, her little staff members, her servant maids, her secret servant maids, her friends, so-called acquaintances, and her neighbors. Doesn't look like she's very close to anybody. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry about that. Middle row. Get sloppy here on these live streams. No editing. Okay, so she had to get a hold of the staff members because I think they had to give approval. It looks like there was some sort of approval, some sort of authorization that had to be granted. They probably had to get some sort of paperwork initiated. That's the only reason why she called the staff. Okay. These are her acquaintances. They so feel left out in the cold. I mean, they just wanted the lights back on. This is how they felt. This is how her so-called friends felt when they got. This was what it was like to receive a text from Mrs. Cruz. Hey, want to go to Cancun? Their response like, what the fuck are you thinking, woman? We have to get the power back on, idiot. Like, where are your priorities? That was how it was getting a text from her if you were a so-called friend. This is how it sounded if you were one of her name. I wish I could go with you. Yeah, in my dreams, I could afford that, 24-hour, just give me a ticket right now out of Fort Lauderdale. I don't think so. They're like, you're crazy. Nobody does that. I wish, not feasible, baby. Not feasible. That almost implies that if they would if they could. These cards got mixed up. Oh yeah, you can just tell which one is which. Once again, the staff at the White House, the Six Wands mob, the GOP, I'll bet you they got pissed off because they realized this was going to be bad optics. And I'll bet you they told them that it would look bad. They immediately made a judgment. The White House, look at this, what it was like to get a text. And you're the staff from Ms. Cruz about leaving town. That's a bad choice. They're like, what kind of a choice is that? It's bad optics. You see, that's what it says. It says, boom, bad optics for the GOP. Now, her friends are like, where are your priorities? We need the power back on. And, this is just fruitless people in Texas just screaming at the administration anywhere and everywhere. Give us water. We need water. So their friends are like, once again, where are our priorities? We need water. Basically they're saying you're nuts. This is her friend saying you're crazy, bitch. You're nuts. We need water. Where are your priorities? That's what any normal person would say or think if they got a text like that. Here's her neighbors. They wish. They fantasize. Oh my God, their neighbors wish that they were married to a senator, that they had all these privileges that they have. They probably witnessed more than their so-called friends of what it's like. And I hate to say it, but this kind of says that they're envious. Yeah, because it's right below the star, the wish. They wish that they were positioned, not just to take off, on a whim, but they wish that they had all those privileges that the Cruzes have. So they look envious. All righty, y'all. We're gonna be closing it up here soon. That's what it was like getting the texts. Now, there was another question I wanted to ask about the Cancun vacation before we go back to the salon bit. Now, I know that it's clickbait, okay, a few days ago when the news struck and like every channel was talking about Ted flying to Mexico, okay? And now it's old news. And I've been talking to some other people who are like, no, it's not old news. It's just the lack of attention span that we have for corruption because we've become so numb to this that it is super, super important to keep Ted Cruz up in the news, not just because it's clickbait, because this is actual, real legal activity. Now we're talking about Salon Inc. and the mystery company Reagan LLC, and I have no idea if they're going to find out who the mystery owners are, but we have, according to the tarot, identified what's going on with that. So for anybody who missed that reading, oh my God, that was definitely the highlight of the live stream today, for sure. And the question was, why was that straw donor corporation name chosen? Reagan Investments. Think about it. It's not just Reagan, it's Reagan Investments. Invest in me. Invest in me. Reagan Investments. Me too. All me. Give me all your money. And then I'll trickle it down like, a couple $1,000 at a time to trash like Kelly Loeffler. That's literally what they did. Literally what they did. Oh my God, that was the highlight of today's live stream. Hi, Marie. So glad you could make it. Yay. We are going to be on for about another 15, 20 minutes, and definitely catch the replay. About a half hour prior, we did the outrageous reading on the question, why did they name this mystery fund corporation Reagan Investments LLC? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about Salon Inc. and Vanity Fair and the illegal activity through Reagan Investments LLC that has implicated Ted Cruz for basically, this is how it works. Super PAC like MAGA brought in 1.5 million, and then somehow they siphoned this money over to a mystery LLC called Reagan Investments. And that just sounds so Ghislaine Maxwell. It just has that whole MO. And then Reagan LLC purchased 1.2 million in book sales under the filing, quote, advertising promotion. So it's a book scandal. It's a book sale scandal. It's really freaky the way they did it. So they would siphon money over to this cover-up company, Reagan Investments LLC, and then they would use it to buy books. And then Ted Cruz and his wife would collect royalties from Library of Congress to the tune of about 10 to 15% of the sales. So we did the numbers, and that comes out to about 200 G's in their pocket. We also looked at how much taxpayer money was spent to finance the Secret Service detail for Snowflake while the family was away. And it was huge. It was just under $1 million. It was abhorrent. And that's where why we should not drop this story. Texans still need water, and it's a week and a half. It's 2 weeks later. Come on. I'm still having cleanup crews come onto my property. We had tree fall on my roof. It's been an actual natural disaster here, but we did not have a federal emergency or FEMA aid or anything like that. Oh, no problem. We just, Marie, I'm glad that you're taking care of that. I have had a ton of work recently done also on my health and my health care, because I felt that 2020, a lot of that just dropped. It just dropped. And yeah, we've, me and my family, while I've been away, have had at least 5 or 10 dental appointments between all my animals and all my people. We have all been going in for dentistry, orthodontistry, endodontistry, and veterinary dental. And my cat, who's a rescue, has a major surgery scheduled because she has to be on anesthesia to have the vet clean her teeth for the very first time ever, too. So she's going to have major surgery dental just to get tartar off her teeth, her felines. Yay. Okay. All right. So we asked what it was like to receive those texts. Would you like to fly away with me to Cancun? What it felt like to be her neighbor, her staff member, or a friend who got a text that said, hey, we're splitting town. We saw what Snowflake thought of her Secret Service detail. About the only thing was that she felt very good, was that she felt very secure because she knew they were coming. They must have come an awful lot, and it looked like there was a veterinarian on detail because it was very dangerous for her to be left alone. She could have frozen to death. So it looks like she was very well cared for. And we also sent Reiki to warm her and the other animals and to warm the hearts of the pet owners who lost a pet in the freeze, because people don't get any credit for grieving the loss of their pet. A lot of times dogs means more to a family member, or is the only family member living with somebody. And dogs, this has been really hard on the animals, the veterinarians and myself. Oh, man, if you haven't seen me on YouTube, it's because I have been getting so many veterinary calls. So many horses have been needing care in the freeze because we had a freeze up north here too. We just don't get credit for it. Oh dear, let's send Reiki to you. I'm not going to send it here on the live stream, but absolutely prayers being sent to your I won't say what, because this is private, but we're going to send prayers to Marie for healing her head. Yeah, maxillofacial. All right, so definitely I will add you to my prayers tonight. I will. And then we chatted a little bit about how I have put together a little miniature space heater for my house that I can use as radiant heat source using nothing but one muffin pan, 4 tea lights, 2 differently sized terracotta pots, a little piece of tin foil, and a lighter. You got to have the tin foil and a lighter. And I'm going to put it together in a pack, and then it's just going to be in my earthquake emergency supplies. So you never know when there's going to be an earthquake. Dear Mother Earth, keep us safe. So, do we have any questions about Ted Cruz? We're about to finish up here on the actual throwing of tarot cards. We went over the text messages. We went over the service detail for Snowflake. We found out how much Americans' taxpayer money is being spent. Yeah, it is American taxpayer money sent to pay for the Secret Service to pet sit. And yes, it absolutely was affirmed by the tarot cards that the Secret Service went and checked on her very many times. She even said so too. She was not like in love with them or anything like that, but she felt secure because she felt like they were coming by often. She knew they were coming. She did feel confused on why she was left alone in the house. That confused her because, pets know when you plan and when you don't plan. They know that stuff. That does not get over on a poodle. Nothing gets past a poodle like that. They know that was an unplanned little, we're out of here. That confused her. So we sent Reiki to her to help keep her warm. And Reiki is time independent, so it can go into the past. But I'm not kidding. You got to do the replay on that one reading on the Reagan Investments LLC. It was hilarious. Any more questions on Ted Cruz? And once again, let's not drop the Ted Cruz story. It's important to keep the pressure on because the news cycle and the clickbait is super short. We want to hold Cancun Cruz's feet to the fire, proverbially speaking, so that when this next news comes out, because it's breaking, nobody's heard about this, that he's implicated in this book scandal, it's going to blow up. We want it to blow up because it's illegal what these people are doing. Allegedly. That's right. I'm going to be continuing my focus on the seditionists this week, and just to give you a little preview of what's coming up here. We're going to be back to Minerals Monday Live. Yay. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so that you can receive the little notifications bell. I'll send you the little ringy-dingy when it comes up when we go live on Monday for Minerals Monday Live. I'm probably going to do a live stream this weekend because there's so many hot topics to catch up on in Wisconsin. My family is from Wisconsin, so I so absolutely know. I mean, I was raised by Wisconsiners. I get the Wisconsin attitude. I know where they're coming from. Osh gosh bagosh, that's my neighborhood. That's right, baby. Fond du lac. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we will be visiting Ron Johnson in Wisconsin this weekend on Monday. We're going to be doing Minerals Monday Live Diamonds in honor of Black history, because there's little or no credit given to the laborers who mined blood diamonds. And we're going to go over the energetics between a blood diamond and a fair trade diamond, which was harvested sustainably, as opposed to blood diamonds, which was taken basically at the expense of Africans. And we're talking Africans here, Native Africans. We're also going to visit Australia, because some of the most highly prized diamonds now are being found in the mines of Australia. So we will be exploring the energetics of diamonds this week in honor of Black history. And then we will also chat a little about the politics of the diamond market and how it has driven more Blacks into poverty in Africa specifically, and encouraged unsustainable and abusive mining practices against Native Africans. Mm-hmm. And the difference between having a stone, which is mined, consciously, as opposed to have the ownership of a blood diamond. And we'll talk about the different certifications. Yes, because diamonds are certified. Diamonds are certified. And then we can understand how best we can choose diamonds so that we know when we're getting sucked into a blood diamond relationship, because each of the stones, each of these rocks that we put on our body especially, or on our altars, are holding energy majorly. They are energy transmitters. Well, depending on the type of material or energetic, they can be different things. Blockers, transmitters, and whatnot. So that's how we study and use our crystals, our minerals, our rocks, and stones to assist us in our healing practices. So we're going to be exploring the healing properties and the energetics of diamonds, Australian diamonds, blood diamonds, and sustainably farmed and harvested diamonds on Minerals Monday Live. Yay! And we'll be continuing to send Reiki. We'll start by sending some now. Yes. And I do send my blessings to all who've attended live and on the replay. I look forward to seeing everyone again soon. If you have a political tarot question, especially about Ted Cruz, please, or Ron Johnson, Wisconsin, because we're going to Wisconsin next, please type it in the comments on the replay. Thanks so much, everybody. Love to all. Namaste. Bye, guys. Goodbye. We'll see you again in a couple of days. Love to all. Namaste. I know, Marie, you mean so much to all of us, too. Sleep really good tonight. Have great dreams tonight.